What's up, y'all? What's going on? Let's replace a battery in this 97 Camaro. So she's been sitting here for a little while. Since the summer, I guess, because it started off with AC didn't work, and now it got down to the battery was too old. Once it got cold, I didn't want to run it. So AC does work. It's the evaporator core that needs replacing, and that's a project for next year. So we can get this battery out here. This is I think it's a 6-year-old battery. Let's see, it is 717. So Duralast Gold is what I normally go with. And how we're going to remove this battery? Negative, positive. You always, look, this is for you amateurs out there. If you know what you're doing, obviously you do your thing. So not everybody knows how to replace a battery. So the way, whenever I first started swapping batteries out, the way, an easy way to think about it was, hey, I'm going to subtract the negative first. I'm going to take the cables off. I'm going to take the negative off first. Then I'm going to take the positive off. And whenever I put it back on, I'm going to add the positive back first. And then I'm going to put the negative on. Okay? All right, so let me go down the shop, get my wrenches, and let me get with taking this battery out. That way I can take it with me and get a replacement battery. Okay, so we got us a little 5/16 opening and closed in wrench, and that's what both of these screws are for the side terminal battery. So, no big deal. Hey, lefty loosey, right? Okay, so here's something funny. The way my daughter's mind works, I've said before to her, lefty loosey, righty tighty. It's just something somebody said to me. I mean, of course I know clockwise and counterclockwise, but would you believe I used to work with some people that couldn't tell the difference between clockwise and counterclockwise? If I would tell them to turn something clockwise or counterclockwise, it was the way we loaded a fixture on a machine that worked. Was depending on how it was running, how you had it shimmed and everything. Hey, put it in there and turn it clockwise. Put it in there and turn it counterclockwise. We had to make it match up with a functional gauge. I've actually had people in the past say, well, which way is that? Is that to the right or to the left? Mind blowing, I tell you. All right, let me take these off and get this battery out of here. So I just thought to myself, I was like, wow, I'm really getting ahead of myself. I need to show them about the hold down and what size socket it takes for the hold down. Well, look, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea whether it's always been like this or not, or if, I don't know, they just don't make any sense. Why don't I have a hold down in here? Well, I guess if the battery just stays in place and you don't have any trouble, I guess it'll be fine. But maybe that's something I need to look into getting, is a hold down for my battery. I might be able to rob it off my old junk 87 Camaro that I have down in my shop. Okay, so I got both of them loose. Now you may think this is funny, but I always like to cover up one terminal, one of the battery cables. It's just something I've always liked to do. That way things contacting each other is totally unnecessary. It's just me and my paranoia. All right, so I hope I'm taking this battery out of here and taking it to AutoZone. According to AutoZone's website, they have a battery, and I've been having trouble with the back, so hopefully I won't have any trouble doing it. If not, this video will end up running short, won't it? So, like always, the dummies at AutoZone. Look, I like going to AutoZone, but it's not just AutoZone, it's every one of these parts stores. They try to get you to, if you buy a bulb, they want you to buy bulb grease. If you buy a battery, they want you to buy the anti-corrosion kit, the battery install kit. Every time you buy something, they try to push these little overpriced little kits on you. I know they have to do it. This young guy actually asked me if I wanted it. Normally, they don't even ask you. He said, "Do you want this?" And I said, "I do not. Thank you for asking." So what we have is we have 1123 battery. Hey, let's hope we get another 6 years out of this one. And this is the Duralast Gold that's suggested for this car. This is a 97 Camaro RS with a 3.8. And we're gonna throw this in here. And guess what? We're not using their dumb little install kit. But what we are gonna do is we're gonna put some dielectric grease in here and dielectric grease here. And we're gonna put the thing back in the car and we're gonna bolt it up. And we're gonna crank it and we're gonna drive it and we're not gonna get any corrosion. How about that? All right, let me go find it. Bye. So the battery that I took out of here had 0 corrosion. I installed that battery. See any corrosion here? None. Okay, just pay attention to what you're doing. Do a good job. Okay, that's all you gotta do. So dielectric grease, y'all. Oh, I mentioned about the hold down. Maybe I did have one and it broke off. Huh, that's interesting. I don't even remember. So there's a piece of stud there. Okay, so put some dielectric grease on the face of this and in the hole. Of course I didn't gob it full, but same thing with this one. I may have put a little bit too much with this one, but whenever I put the terminals back on, screw them in, it'll squirt out whatever extra they don't need. Okay, so I'm not gonna have any corrosion here. So I'm putting the positive on first. Okay, plus, go positive first. Y'all, when you're putting this on, don't be letting your wrench hit anything else. Touch the terminal only when you're tightening this down. Don't hit any other metal components when you're doing this. You might get an arc. It'll scare you. I really don't like sparks myself. Got the positive on. Now I'm gonna put the negative on. Okay. So, my dad used to do this funny thing. I don't know why he did it. He was like, whenever he would be good putting a new battery in, he would kind of be like he was blowing. I don't know why he was doing that. If anybody knows, hey, feel free to comment. But I don't think it's that serious. All right, she's in there. Not like that wiggles around, but hey, maybe it's been wiggling around for a while. So I'm gonna see if she'll crank up. It hadn't. I ain't cranked it in months. She better crank up. Oh, I don't even have the keys for it. I got to go get them. Okay, now I have some keys. Got power. We got power. All right, good deal. Now I get to drive this thing because I feel like I can trust it now. I didn't trust it in the wintertime and an old battery, a 6-year-old battery. So, y'all, for those of you that don't know how, for y'all, those of you that do know how, you're like, wow, why is he making a dumb battery change video? For those of you that don't know how, that's why I made a battery change video. Y'all, changing a battery applies to a lot of vehicles. It just doesn't apply to this 97 Camaro. It can be a lot of different kind of vehicles. You don't have to let them get you for that extra couple of dollars on the install kit on various different things, whether it's bulbs or other things. Just make sure you use some dielectric grease. And I don't know where you like to get your batteries from, but I like to get the Duralast Gold, and they seem to be pretty reliable batteries. At least they have been in my Camaros. They last well past 5 years now. Some of these other vehicles, I'm going to say newer vehicles, but I don't have a new vehicle. We have a 2006 and a 2010 Chevrolet Impalas also. And I use the Duralast Gold in those, but they haven't lasted a long time. I mean, you're looking at like 2 or 3 years. I don't know if it's because there's so much more electronics and stuff on them. I can't imagine how long a battery lasts for a newer vehicle these days. But anyway, I'm going to jump out and I'm going to close the hood and I'm going to take this thing for a ride because I haven't driven it in several months. That's what happens whenever you're... Let's see, I wonder if the window goes down now. This has to be better. Of course not. The windows... See, the windows don't work. And so you definitely can't drive it in summertime when the AC doesn't work and the windows don't work. And the heat works, but I need an evaporator core. So that's $1,000 just to get to it because it's up in the dash. So what I'm going to do is whenever I have them put an evaporator core in next year before summer hits, I'm going to have them put a heater core into also, because the heater core has got 195,000 miles on it. That's pretty old. All right, I'm going to take this thing for a ride after I get done motor mouthing. How about that? Hey, y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching this video. If you watched all the way to the end, hey, if you just watched a piece of it, thank you for watching this video. The 91 Camaro is in the shop with smog pump issues. The smog pump locked up on me. So I'll have an update on a video on that about what size belts used and that you can delete the smog pump and all that kind of stuff. All right, because you can't buy a new one. You cannot buy a new one for a V6 Camaro, for an old V6 Camaro. All right, talk to you later.